Lando needs to step up. That's my hard opinion. Lando needs to define himself this season. So far, he's got a race win to start the year in Australia. He could have lost that one very well. P2 in China, P2 in Japan. He is your drivers' championship leader, with all due respect. But Max Verstappen is right there in your rearview mirror. Piastri is only 13 points behind. So in my personal opinion, Bahrain is going to be a great floor. It's going to be a great opportunity for Lando Norris to show that he can step up, that he can prove to this team, prove to the grid, prove to the fans like you and me, the TLPs, that he is a championship caliber driver, as Zach Brown believes in him, as members of the McLaren fan base believe in him. And I know Kevin, watching this, is probably going to feel that, yes, Lando Norris is a championship caliber driver. The rest of us, whether you're a Mercedes fan like myself, whether you're a Red Bull fan, whether you're a Williams fan, whether you're a Ferrari fan, the list goes on. We're waiting for Lando Norris to show us this year that he is the championship caliber driver. I think the jury's still a little bit out. Questions about the intensity being there. Questions about the character, about the ferociousness, the way that you see Max Verstappen driving around the circuit, taking no prisoners. He doesn't let anybody by easily. The defense is there. Lando Norris, I think a lot of fans consider him just to be this nice kid, but he's insanely quick. I think we just want to see that edge from Lando Norris. I think we want to see him walk out there and push a car that should be on the top step, arguably every weekend, at least to start the season. It has been beyond P2, beyond chasing the Red Bull rear wing. And there's some questions that Lando Norris has to ask himself. I think the team overall, the car is good. Strategy's okay. There's some question marks here and there. McLaren obviously have questions to ask and answer themselves, but you shouldn't be leaving it up to the question mark of, hey, do we switch the cars with Oscar Piastri? Make it your own. Make that non-negotiable. And we don't know exactly what else happens behind the scenes, but I know for a fact that Oscar Piastri does not see himself as a number 2 driver. McLaren consider him a number 1 driver, the same as Lando Norris. But if you're Lando Norris, display it. Show it. Show us. Well, I want to see it. That's the big storyline. Lando Norris needs to step up here. We need to learn from Lando Norris. You're the guy. This is your season. Everybody else, get in line. I want to see it. And staying on McLaren, my other question is, will Piastri push McLaren? Questions about which driver is getting favoritism after the Japanese Grand Prix. Piastri has a great chance to keep McLaren sweating. Keep him right on your heels, right? Or keep Lando Norris hot on his heels. Make him nervous. Keep him sweating. And after Japan, he absolutely did that. I have the pace to catch Max. I want to go chase Max. Let me pass. Following team orders, being a team player, doing his job, doing his thing the way he's supposed to. There is politicking in this sport. There are team orders. There are things that happen. But for Oscar Piastri, force them. Force their hand. The way that Lando Norris was, boasting high in the high heavens about, make him catch me in Hungary last year, bringing a little bit of attitude here and there. Piastri can do it. We know he can do it. We've seen how he can drive. His racecraft it's some of the best on the grid, and he's only getting better. Force McLaren to make some tough business decisions. Force their hand a little bit. You can be the team player, do what you got to do. But can he push McLaren? Will he push McLaren? That's going to be the interesting question, because there is a title fight on the line here. Max Verstappen's in this equation because he's Max Verstappen, but we don't expect him to win the championship this year. This is supposed to be Lando Norris's year, right? At least that was the consensus from everybody walking into the season, seeing how good this car was in the first practice sessions of the year back in Bahrain. Now we return to Bahrain, and there's still questions as to who the actual driver one is for this Formula One season. And it is still within the McLaren pit wall. So I'm Oscar Piastri. I'm walking into Bahrain. I'm making everybody question. That's the mission. You're not just trying to out-qualify Lando and start in front and have a solid race. Define it. Have a monster win. Go put it out there. Make Lando sweat. Make him nervous. Maybe don't crash the car. Obviously, you don't want to create problems. But when you have two very talented drivers, there's going to be conflicts. We see it's a little bit there. I'm not saying that these guys don't get along well. I'm sure they do. They seem like a nice enough pair of guys off the grid. But at the end of the day, for Oscar Piastri, it's my legacy or his legacy, right? This is a championship opportunity. You have no idea what 2026 is going to look like. Don't take prisoners, fam. Don't take prisoners. As we walk into Bahrain once again, TLPs, you might be asking the same question. Was Japan a one-off for Max Verstappen? Now, over the course of the season, obviously, being 1 point behind a Lando Norris, who's supposed to be your favorite for the World Championship, I don't think it's a one-off. Max Verstappen's still a threat. But for Max Verstappen, answer that question. Is the car good enough? Obviously, it can be good enough to win a race. It might be a thin margin. You might be cutting your teeth a little bit. But was Japan a one-off for Max Verstappen is the question for me. Is this going to be a regular occurrence? Are we going to see him and Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri and maybe a George Russell or Charles Leclerc or a Lewis Hamilton duking it out for that top step regularly? Ferrari are catching up, but they've already got a sprint win this year. We have 3 different constructors with wins so far this season. So, if you're Max Verstappen, the car can do it. You can elevate the car with your supreme, insanely nasty Dutch talent. Can you keep it up? I think Max Verstappen absolutely can. I think Max is going to be that extra little, foil within this McLaren season of, hey, this is ours. We're destined. We deserve this. We've earned this, and this is our time. Not on Max Verstappen's watch. He's a reigning world champion for a reason. He's not just going for 4 world titles. He's going for his 5th. He's right there. Feels really scary to have him breathing down your neck. McLaren fans are probably nervous. And there's a lot of them out there. A lot of Max Verstappen fans out there too. That man's terror. That man's a terror. He's scary. He's got that Michael Schumacher level of intensity that demands success. That it's hard to look away. It's respectable. And if the car's in the good enough window, the podiums are going to keep coming for Max Verstappen, and there are going to be wins. So, was Japan a one-off for Max? To kind of answer my own question, I don't think so. But as we walk out of Bahrain, maybe we'll get another, characteristic look at this Red Bull. Really get another definition of how good is the car? How good is Max? How good is this system? Because obviously, they spent 3 long days in Bahrain, earlier this year, practice sessions. They're going to be very familiar, all these teams, with the layout of this circuit. So we're going to I think we'll probably get a real, pecking order adjustment through Bahrain. I'm really curious to see how it all turns out, how it goes, but you can't rule Max Verstappen out. You cannot. And the last storyline I have going into Bahrain. Will Mercedes fight at the front? We've seen Ferrari grab a sprint win. We've seen McLaren grab a couple of wins. Red Bull has taken wins this season. But you got the second fastest car. They need to get it in the right window. This is a team down, driver down. It's George Russell's time to shine. You're the team leader. You've already got a pair of podiums this year. We know that you can. You're right there. You're sniffing success. You're doing well. You're second place in the constructors, but we've now seen 3 different teams win, and it's not Mercedes. I don't think a lot of people are talking about the pressure on Mercedes quite yet, because obviously having a rookie in the seat brings a little bit of a bit of a different stigma. Kimi Antonelli is incredibly talented. I don't think anybody's expecting Kimi Antonelli to win a race this year. I certainly am not expecting him to win a race this year. I think if he can land a podium at some point within all 25 of these rounds, that's going to be spectacular. But we all feel like this car is the second fastest one on the grid. George Russell is one of the best drivers on this grid. I think it's fair to say. More than fair to say, in fact. He's having a monster year. He's having his best start to his season so far, but I think he could be doing even better. I don't think it's unreasonable. And I don't think George Russell believes it's unreasonable. I don't think Toto Wolff believes it's unreasonable. I don't believe the guys back at Brackley believe that's unreasonable. So, show it to us. I want to see it. I want to see you right on the heels of a Lando Norris, or having him have to overtake you. Show us some defense. Make Oscar Piastri have to work for it. Make Max Verstappen have to work for it. So far, the car's been good. It's been solid. Mercedes are excited about bringing some upgrades, and they think they might be able to compete for wins this year. This is supposed to be McLaren's year. The same way that Max Verstappen can play spoiler, Mercedes can absolutely play spoiler. So show it to us. I think we're now walking into the fourth race of this season. Let's see it. Let's see this progress. You're talking to high heavens about how good the car is going to be in 2026, how strong the engine is going to be in 2026. It's 2025. I mean, the progress can be shown next year, but so say you can't, lean in a little bit on this season. So I want to see George Russell do it. I want to see George Russell bring the pressure. I want to see him show us all just how intense and how good of a driver he can be and how much he has to prove going into this season throughout the next 20 plus